Give mates, and welcome to a snowy showdown that might just blow your mind. Today, we're rediving deep into a topic that has sparked debates among skiers and snowboarders for years. The Australian Alps versus the Swiss Alps. Now, hold your fondue because we're about to challenge a pretty big assumption. When you think of massive snowfalls, your mind probably jumps straight to those postcard-perfect peaks in Switzerland, right? But what if I told you that a little slice of Australia gives the mighty Swiss Alps a serious run for their money, and in some cases, even leaves them in the dust? Stick around, because we're about to crunch the numbers, look at the science, and reveal the snowy truth that could change where you plan your next winter escape. It's the land down under versus the heart of Europe. Who gets more snow? Let's find out. First up, let's set the scene. The Swiss Alps are legendary. They're a massive, sprawling mountain range, a huge chunk of the Alps that stretches across Europe. We're talking iconic peaks like the Matterhorn and Eiger, with altitudes soaring well over 4,000 meters. These mountains are the quintessential image of a winter wonderland, home to world-famous resorts like Zermatt, St. Moritz, and Verbier. They benefit from multiple storm systems coming in from the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, and even cold blasts from the north. It's a complex weather factory that has been delivering reliable, deep snow for centuries. You can ski for kilometers, from one valley to the next, often on glaciers that hold snow year-round. It's the benchmark, the gold standard of skiing. Now, let's hop on a long-haul flight down to Australia. The Australian Alps might not have the same towering, jagged peaks as their European cousins. Our highest mountain, Mount Kosciuszko, stands at a more modest 2,228 meters. The range itself is older, more rounded, and geographically more isolated. The main ski resorts like Perisher, Thredbo, and Falls Creek are nestled within this unique alpine environment. The common perception is that Australian snow is less reliable, wetter, and that our seasons are just a short blip compared to the long, epic winters in Europe. For many global skiers, Australian skiing is a novelty, not a serious destination. But this is where our story gets really interesting, because while the Swiss Alps are higher and bigger, there's a specific spot in Australia that is a bona fide snow magnet, a place that quietly racks up snowfall totals that are, frankly, astonishing. We need to talk about the main range, specifically an area around a place called Spencer's Creek in the snowy mountains of New South Wales. This isn't a ski resort you can just drive to. It's a remote site where for decades, Snowy Hydro has been meticulously measuring snow depth, and the data from this one spot tells a fascinating tale. Official long-term data collected from both regions reveals something incredible. When we compare the average maximum snow depth at Spencer's Creek, which sits at about 1,830 meters, with comparable altitudes in the Swiss Alps, the results are neck and neck. In fact, in many years, Spencer's Creek doesn't just match, it surpasses the snow depths recorded at similar elevations in Switzerland. How is this even possible? It all comes down to meteorology and geography. The Australian Alps are perfectly positioned to catch what we call cold outbreaks. When massive cold fronts sweep up from the Southern Ocean, straight from Antarctica, they carry a huge amount of moisture. As this cold, wet air is forced to rise over the Australian Alps, the first significant landmass it hits, it dumps incredible amounts of snow in a very concentrated area. This phenomenon, known as the orographic lift effect, is supercharged in our Alps. The storms are intense and can drop a meter or more of snow in just a couple of days. The Swiss Alps, on the other hand, get their snow from more varied sources. Storms from the Atlantic have often lost some of their punch by the time they reach Switzerland. While they get more frequent, lighter snowfalls, they don't always get the same massive, singular dumps that the Australian main range is famous for. So, while the Swiss season might be longer and the snow might cover a much larger area, the peak depth in Australia's sweet spot can be truly world-class. Let's break it down with a bit more detail. Think of it like this. Switzerland is like a huge bucket that gets filled slowly and steadily over a long winter. The water level, the snow depth, is consistent and deep across a wide area. Australia, particularly the main range, is like a smaller, deeper bucket placed under a fire hose. It might not be on all the time, but when it is, it fills up incredibly fast, reaching a peak depth that can rival or even exceed the big bucket next to it. For example, historical records show numerous seasons where Spencer's Creek has recorded maximum snow depths of over 3.5 meters. These are figures that many well-known Swiss resorts at similar altitudes would be thrilled to have. Of course, this isn't the case for every single Australian resort. This phenomenon is most pronounced in that high-elevation sweet spot. But it proves that the potential for colossal snowfall absolutely exists in Australia. Now, let's be fair. This doesn't mean the entire Australian ski experience is better than Switzerland. The Swiss Alps offer vastly more terrain, vertical drop, and a network of resorts and villages that is unparalleled. You can ski for weeks in Switzerland and never ski the same run twice. The culture, the food, the sheer scale is on another level. An Aussie ski trip is a different beast. It's more concentrated, the resorts are smaller, but when the conditions are on, the quality of the snow and the depth of the base can be absolutely epic. You can find yourself in waist-deep powder, carving through gum trees, which is a uniquely Australian experience. So, who wins the snow battle? It's not a simple answer. If we're talking about the sheer volume of snow across an entire country and the length of the season, Switzerland is the undisputed heavyweight champion. The scale is just immense. But, if the question is, which country has a location that can get more peak snowfall at a comparable altitude, the answer, shockingly, can be Australia. The data from Spencer's Creek proves that our little corner of the world can punch well above its weight, producing snow depths that are the envy of many places in the world. The real takeaway here is that you shouldn't write off Australian snow. It's a land of extremes, and that applies to our weather too. Our Alps might be smaller and our season shorter, but they are capable of producing conditions that are truly world-class. It's a classic Aussie underdog story, quietly delivering the goods while the big names get all the attention. So next time you're planning a ski holiday, maybe give the snowy mountains another look. You might just catch one of those legendary Antarctic blasts and find yourself in some of the deepest powder of your life. It's a powerful reminder that amazing things often come in surprising packages. What do you think? Have you experienced an epic powder day in Australia that rivals anything overseas? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world's weather quirks, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more surprising facts from around the globe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the slopes.